Hopefully it is. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety, and I'm talking with Ibross. Say hello, Ibross.
Hi.
And
Hi, everyone.
Ibross is from London, and
Yeah.
he does IT kind of work. And he said to me in an email, I'm the worst stutterer you'll ever hear. Well, I doubt that, but it's not a contest, and certainly not to be the worst. He said he started stuttering at age 5, and in 90% of his conversations with up to 80% blocks, a few repeats and grimaces, and his problems mainly with strangers, authorities, groups, and phone, which is typical. It's exactly where most stutterers are, situational, and in those situations. That's where I was too. So he can read aloud, he can whisper and talk alone without stuttering. So that's a big help. Most stutterers can do that, and that really proves what I say. On the bottom of all my books, on the cover, I say if I can say one word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word anywhere, anytime. Because to me, that's just plain logic. If I can say one word anywhere, there's no reason I can't say any word anywhere. And you're no exception with that either. Look, we're 99+% identical, you know? And some of us are a little taller, shorter, fatter, thinner, smarter, whatever. But basically, we are close to identical, whether we like it or not. And what makes us different is what we do, what we think, what we say, and what we do. That's what makes us different, or special, or good or bad, in my opinion. So the point is, well, let me ask you a few questions first.
Sure.
Have you? I don't see here in my notes. Oh yes, it says you were at Speech Anxiety Anonymous. You joined WSSA, and you read How to Stop Stuttering and Love Speaking, which
Yes.
is my best book. It's this book, and it's my best book so far. And
Yes.
the only one I've done since is this one, which is like a Cliff Notes version of the one you read, which is Stop Stuttering Short Course. And that doesn't say anything that's not in the one that you read. It's just a short version. Um, so you said that in one of your emails, you said to me that after 2 weeks, you felt a large improvement. And so um, then I suggested that, we Skype, and here we are. And this is our first Skype. And this is March 13th. I love the number 13. It's a good number in my family. My father was born on the 13th, and other good things happened to us then. And I'm not superstitious anyway. So, okay, so here we are with our first Skype. Now, I'll ask you a couple of questions just to let you talk a little bit, and so we establish a baseline, kind of where we are.
Sure.
So, um, you said that you stuttered in 90% of your conversation with up to 80% blocks.
Mhm.
Now, since you read my book, um, you said that there had been a large improvement. Can you explain the improvement? How has
S-
that shown itself?
So, at the time when I s- I sent that email, it was extremely bad, and I g- I g- I couldn't put two words together even. And when I read your book, I w- I was reading. Out, out loud to my wife. I I was talking to myself often. Mm, I would give myself mm, uh, the uh, the mind training treatments every day, and I would say literally after after 2 3 days, it improved by literally over 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 almost 50%. It was extremely helpful.
Okay. Try and say what I say, but
Okay.
try and say it the way I say it, which takes energy, commitment. Stuttering is all about holding back. Stutterers hold back their words, and literally they block their own words. But when you focus on anything other than the words, anything but the words, you won't stutter. So what we want you to do is we want you to focus on what you're saying, the thought itself, not the words. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm going to go to work, whatever the thought is. You focus on the message. And to do that, you focus on how you can say it like you really mean it versus how you can say it like you really mean it. See the difference?
Yeah.
This is a commitment to, I'm asking you to jump into the swimming pool from the high board head first. And we're going to go way down and touch the bottom of the pool and come back up and go. Way to go, mate. That's what we're going to do. We're going in the water. So this is a commitment. You're going to speak. You can't learn to swim standing on the side of the pool, kicking 1 foot in the water. You got to get in the water. I'm going to ask you to get in the water. How do you do that? You start thinking about how you can say it, not what you're saying. So when I say something, I want you to say it the way I do, with energy, with passion, with feeling, with commitment, with conviction. Okay, here we go. How are you, mate?
How are you, mate?
I'm fine, man.
I'm fine, man.
It's no problem
It's no problem.
to talk like this.
To talk like this,
I'll prove it right now.
I'll prove it right now.
I love to talk, man.
I love to talk, man.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
When I put energy
When I put energy
into my talk,
into my talks,
I don't have any problem
I don't have any problem
at all.
at all.
It's easy.
It's easy.
If I can do it once,
If I can do it once,
I can do it anytime.
I can do it anytime.
I love to talk.
I love to talk.
I'm glad you asked me.
I'm glad you asked me.
How are you, man?
How are you, man?
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Will you give me a ride?
Will you give me a ride?
Can I help you?
Can I help you?
Oh, it's wonderful to chat like this.
Oh, it's wonderful to chat like this.
Stop. What do you think about that?
I was clear.
Now I want you to respond to me the way you did when you imitated me. What you say originally, your thought, not mine. I want you to say it like you just did. What do you think about that, man?
It's amazing. I can speak clearly, I can speak fluently, and I feel extremely confident talking like this.
This is who Ibross is.
Yes.
The other guy is holding him back. He's a ghost. He's an aperture. He's not an aperture. He is a ghost. He's nothing. He's smoke and mirrors. He's not real. He's not part of us. When you commit yourself to speaking with passion, with everything you've got, everything, you're not going to stutter. And when you have done that for a while, you will realize you can always do it. And when you realize that, you won't need to speak with passion anymore. But I'll tell you something. Your speech and mine and everyone else's will always be better when we speak with passion. Now, I want to go another direction. I want you to imitate how I do it, okay?
Okay.
I like to whisper.
I like to whisper.
When I whisper,
When I whisper,
I never stutter.
I never stutter.
Most stutterers don't
Most stutterers don't
stutter when they whisper.
stutter when they whisper.
I don't stutter when I whisper.
I don't stutter when I whisper.
I can whisper one word
I can whisper one word
or a phrase
or a phrase
or a sentence
or a sentence
or a whole conversation.
or a whole conversation.
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
They would rather hear me whisper than stutter.
They will rather hear me whisper than stutter.
When I whisper sometimes, I laugh at myself.
When I whisper sometimes, I laugh at myself.
When I go loud, I don't stutter either.
When I go loud, I don't stutter either.
I don't stutter, man.
I don't stutter, man.
Right now, I don't.
Right now, I don't.
When I hang up the Skype, I won't.
When I hang up this Skype, I won't.
You're proving to yourself several things here. One, when you commit yourself to the message and how you say the message, whether it's loud or soft, or somewhere in between with the soft voice, or even in your regular voice, it doesn't matter. When you're committed to how you say it, not the words. Forget the words, man. Your brain is much smarter than you think it is. Leave your brain alone. Your brain knows when to breathe. It knows when to blink your eyes. It knows what words you need to say. It's telling me every word I need to say now. It's picking them for me. I'm not butting in. I'm not interfering. Stop interfering with your brain. Leave it alone. If you want to plan, if you're giving a speech, fine. Write it out, polish it, read it aloud, or memorize it. That's a speech. Conversation is not that way. Conversation is spontaneous. You got some points you want to make. I'd like a hamburger. I'm thirsty. I need to do my homework. Whatever it is. That's a thought. That's not words. It's a thought. All you need to address is your thoughts. And you do it automatically. And it relates to school or your job, that's a little different. Then it's something you're organized and you're regurgitating or you're creating for some purpose. That's a little different, but it doesn't involve words when you speak it. It's a matter of feelings. Say after me. From now on, I'm going to speak with feeling.
with feeling.
Sometimes I'll be loud,
And sometimes I'll be loud,
and sometimes I'll be
and sometimes I'll be very quiet.
and sometimes I'll be in the middle.
And sometimes I'll be in the middle.
I love to speak, man.
I love to speak, man.
When I speak,
When I speak,
calm floods my body.
calm floods my body.
I love to talk to strangers.
I love to talk to strangers.
I love to talk to authorities.
I love to talk to authorities.
My favorite thing is to address groups of people.
My favorite thing is to address groups of people.
It's so much fun, man.
It's so much fun, man.
Ah. Do you hear yourself, Ibross?
Yes,
Do you?
I do.
Who do you think's here? It's Coach Lee at Ibross. That's who it is here.
Yep.
There's nobody else here. I think we're both speaking, and I think we're speaking very well. What do you think?
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I'm speaking clearly and I'm speaking fluently and I'm speaking with passion.
Exactly. When you speak, what you need to possess your mind, to fill it to point of exploding, is how you can say it with more feeling. It's all about that. Loud, soft, and loud, soft, soft. In the middle, doesn't matter. You move around. That's part of the game. It makes your speech more interesting. If you never stuttered in your life, what we're doing right now would still improve your speech. And I'll tell you something else. Not only are you going to stop stuttering, you're going to stop appearing speech disabled, you're going to become virtually overnight one of the best speakers you know. That's a fact. Did you come to the SAM meeting on Saturday?
I couldn't come. I had work
Okay.
on Saturday.
I want you to go on. You're a member of WSSA.
I am, yes.
I want you to go on the website under resources and click down. It says Speech Club. Click on the Speech Club, and I want you to go down and pull up last Saturday's sessions on there.
Okay.
Now, the reason I want you to hear it, you should hear them. You should hear them all. But this one is really good. This is a girl named Fatimata, who's from Africa, and 2 months ago, she stuttered almost every word. Now, I want you to, she was a repeater mainly, more than a blocker, but she was like a machine gun. And I want you to hear her speak. And I want you to hear the reaction of everybody to her. She is now a heroine, she's now an icon. Seriously. In our little world of ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers like you. You want to associate with our kind of people because we're your kind of people. And let me tell you something, we speak better than anybody you know. And you are going to be part of our success chain. There are 4 goals in our program. I played baseball in high school and college, and I coached kids for 25 years as a hobby, um, while I practiced law and did other things. And I had like 20 championship teams in 25 years of different kinds. Some of them were multiple regional champions that never lost a game and stuff like that. And I used to work them to death. They loved it. They loved it. And I would rent a gym in the winter. And I'd get them all in there in the nice gym floor and work grounders and stuff like that, and bunting and sliding and all kinds of stuff. By the time the spring broke, we were way ahead of everybody. I also had a batting cage. I got everybody in there and we hit. We knocked the ball out of the park. People couldn't believe it. We crushed our opponents. And they were just regular people like you and me. I was never a great athlete. I had the worst batting average on my team in high school. Our team was second in the state of Missouri. I had the worst batting average on the team, including the guys on the bench. And I was about half the time on the bench. In college, I had the best batting average on the team. Oh, did I suddenly become a great athlete? No, I did not. I thought about what I was doing and I analyzed it. I figured out ways to make it simpler to hit, to overcome my lack of coordination and speed. I was slow. I became the best infielder they had. They put me on third because I wasn't fast. I couldn't do short or even second because you had to cover more field. I was one or two steps, I was okay, but nothing could get through me. If I could touch the ball, I could keep it in front of me. I'd give my life to stop the ball. I did. I got hit in the eye once by a line drive. I still don't see very good in that eye. But no ball didn't get through me. And this is not a question of ability, it's a question of thought, it's a question of determination. Now, most stutterers have huge inferiority complexes. Most people do. Most normal people have significant inferiority complexes about various things, and a lot of things. Most people. So you and I, we're not so different. It's just that our inferiority complexes manifest themselves in stuttering. Somebody else gets a skin rash or gets an ulcer or a headache. We figured out a way to mess up our speech, so we really punish ourselves and everybody around us because they got to listen to us. Nobody wants to listen to a stutterer. That's another thing. Don't discuss your stuttering. Don't say, I'm a stutterer or any of that stuff. Those days are over. Let your speech speak for itself. It will. And whatever it is, let it speak for itself. Don't waste people's time talking about your speech. Nobody cares. I care. The people at WSSA care. Nobody else cares. We care because we're trying to run stuttering off the planet. And there are 80 million people out there, they say, that stutter at one level or another. And we don't want them to stutter because they don't have to. I submit to you that you've already proved today that you can speak without stuttering. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree.
Good. Now, keep in mind, every time you think words, you're in trouble. Stop it. How? Think something else. I love words. Words are my friends. Say that. Words are my friends.
Words are my friends.
I love words, man.
I love words, man.
I can say any word.
I can say any word.
I'm going to link my words.
I'm going to link my words.
I'm going to speak
I'm going to speak
a few words at a time.
a few words at a time.
I mean 1 to 3 or 4 words or so.
I mean 1 to 3 or 4 words or so.
Now, hold on. I don't know what this is. Hey, speaking. There's no pressure on you guys. No, I just told Jordan I needed some help changing the light. That's all. It's not a big deal. Oh, okay. Then why are you calling, dear? Oh my God. No. Do you have her number? Well, I will tell her to call you. Should I tell her to call you? Oh, well, thank you for telling us. Thank you so much. And give him a big hug for us. Well, that's very kind of him and you. Thank you for calling. Talk soon. That's a friend of mine, just recovered from a 9-hour surgery.
Oh, wow.
Ugh. So the second you start to think words, shut your mouth. Take a 2 count. That's 1001, 1002. That's what it is. Shut your mouth and start again. When you speak, without counting words, I don't want you to count words. You don't need to. But I want you to have a goal in here of speaking 1 to 3 words or so. Now, to show you how I can speak in 1 to 3 words or so, and it sounds just fine, I'll show you my fingers as I speak right now. Generally, I don't count my words, but now I'm counting them to show you that it sounds just fine to speak in increments of 1 to 3 words or so. I don't need to count my words. I just approximate 1 to 3 words or so. Why? It's easier to speak without thinking words, fearing them, forcing them, and blocking in short increments, than it is when we talk in a continuum and we don't stop talking and we keep on talking. The longer we talk, the greater our risk is of having a problem. This is not the way we want to talk. We also run out of breath. Our brain keeps in our lungs automatically enough air to talk in short increments forever. I could talk right now for the next 8 hours in 1 to 3 word increments without a break. No problem. I'd never need to think about my breathing either. I think about my message and how I can say my message in a way that it will seem compelling to my listener. So we're going to talk 1 to 3 words, not counting them. Sometimes 4, 5, or 6, sometimes 1, sometimes 3, 2, 4, doesn't matter. At the end of every increment, there must be a full stop. In a car, you're driving along, you're taking a driving test. You come to a stop sign and you just slow down really, really, really very slow. And then you go through the intersection. The guy says, you failed the test. You say, why is that? He said, because you didn't stop. But I thought I did. No, you didn't. A stop means stop, 1001. Now I can continue, 1001. Now I can continue again, 1001. So I can continue, 1001. To speak, 1001. With stops. Even if I don't count them, I'm pretty good at approximating 1001. And on occasion, every 10 or so increments, I stop for 2 seconds. And then I continue. Sometimes when I stop for 2 seconds, someone else starts talking. And I lose the speech floor. I don't care. I'll always get it back. Doesn't matter. So, stops are critical. So, you're going to speak in 1 to 3 word increments. Number 2, at the end of every increment, you're going to stop for 1 second, 1001, or 2 seconds, 1001, 1002, or sometimes even 3 seconds. And then you'll continue. Why do you vary the length of your stops? 2 reasons. 1, it makes sure you don't forget to stop. And secondly, it makes your speech more interesting. Yes, it does. It moves you. Not only you are simultaneously going to learn not only to stop stuttering, but to be the best speaker in your peer group. At the same time, while you're going to achieve one, you're going to achieve both. How about that? And in time, if you stay with this program, people are going to start telling you what a good speaker you are. And that's a fact. You may say, oh no, oh yes, it's true. It's true. If you'll do this, it's true. We got hundreds of cases to prove it. You're not our first guinea pig here. So now, there's one other thing you got to do, and that's link your words. Now you've been doing it. Linking your words means it takes 4 things to stutter: hesitate, think a word, fear it, and force it. A stutterer can do that in a fraction of a second, like that. But if you don't do every one of those 4 things, Ibross, you not only won't stutter, you can't. It's not going to happen. You got to do them all. So we're going to break that. We call that the stutter habit chain. We're going to break that chain. When the chain's broken, they don't connect anymore. The stuttering's out here and it's kind of drifting off the horizon. It's being pushed out. Because you're not doing any of the 4 things needed to stutter. You're not hesitating between words. You're not thinking words. You're not fearing words. And you're not forcing words. To the contrary, you're going to link your words together and stop. And you're going to think about not the words that you say at all. You're not going to think that anymore. The minute you start thinking words, you're going to shut your mouth. Stop, take a 2 count, and start again. This is your speech plan. This is your speech plan. So we started you, and I say it's like, it's 3 words. It's short, it's link, and it's stop. It's a very simple plan. Now, the most important underlying thing, though, is what we did before I started talking about this. It's getting you to think, how can I say it like I mean it? That's what precedes everything. How can I say it like I mean it? That's what matters. That's the thought that's in your brain. And short link stop, 1 to 3 words. I'm not asking you to, give a 30-minute address. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to put together 1 to 3 words or so, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 1, whatever. You're not counting them, but it's short. Whatever you say, you got a lot of stops. So, now I'll ask you a couple of simple questions, and I want you to answer them thinking, how can I say it like I mean it? And also, keep in mind, short, a few words, not a long bunch of words, a few words, because you can always stop. I can stop in the middle of anything that I say. There are no rules, no places that I can't stop talking and then continue. It's fine. It works. It's fun. And I want you to think of all of this as a game. And the game is Ibross versus Ibross. Does that sound like a game you might win?
I will win that.
Okay, now, on that statement, we would have said them all together. I will win.
I will win.
Now, when you say it and think of it, when you say your increment of words, in this case, I will win, you think of it as one word. You can still pronounce it very clearly. I will win. You can say it as clearly as a bell. That's no problem. So I'm not asking you to slur your speech or anything. I'm not asking you to do that. And I want you to speak basically slower than normally people speak, because people speak too fast. And their speech is ineffective because of it. And they make a lot of mistakes, maybe not stuttering, they make a lot of other mistakes, and probably some stuttering too. They just don't think about it as stuttering. When they do repeats, they don't think about them that way. Or if they force a word once in a while, they don't think about it as, I committed a crime, I should be shot, I'm inferior person, I'm a terrible person because I repeat or I block my words. It's not true. Are you a inferior person when you get a headache or a skin rash? No. And you're not inferior when you do this problem either. And this problem is a lot easier to get over than a skin rash, frankly, or even headaches. So, the second you have to maneuver a word, stop, take a 2 count, and do it again. You don't necessarily have to repeat what you've said. I will win. You know what I mean. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about your speech or about you. Stop it. If you're not doing your best at what you do, shame on you. Start doing it. If you're cheating or hurting people, stop it. Because you'll always be a loser. You'll always hate yourself. And you'll live a miserable life. Who's the richest man on the planet? Putin. Who's the most miserable man on the planet? Putin. Believe me, he's created hell on earth. You can make heaven in hell or hell in heaven. And he's made heaven into hell. He's dying by his own hand. That's his problems, not yours or mine. Your job is to do your best and to be a loving person. That's it. And do your mind training every single day, twice a day. Are you doing your mind training twice a day?
I am, yes.
Are you doing approximately 20 minutes each session?
Yes.
Do you have 10 affirmations?
I do.
Good. I like your answers. Why do I like them? They're short. As long as you're dueling a little bit with stuttering, keep the heat down. Don't turn the way up. Don't say what you don't need to say. If somebody says, what's your name? Don't say, my name is Ibross. Say Ibross. They say, are you hungry? You say yes. You don't say, I'm hungry. I like this and that. No, just say yes. Keep it easy. What in the hell? This thing's talking into my ears. Shut up. This phone is talking into my ears right now. It's connected to my, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I'm going to shut my phone down. So, do you get some feeling about how easy this victory can be for you?
Of course.
And I know you're 25 years old, so you didn't start stuttering at age 24. You started stuttering a long time ago. You've been stuttering for 2 decades. You're not going to stutter another 6 months. There's no reason you can't be. Look, I started to say earlier, I started talking about baseball and I got sidetracked because I love it so much. There's first base, second base, third base, and home plate. We get the same thing in our program. Home plate is where we want you to get. And home plate is, I converted stuttering into a blessing and elevated my life. What do you think about that? Is that a great goal or what?
Amazing.
And this is what you're going to do. Third base is, before you get to home plate, you can't get to home plate until you reach third base. Third base is, I love to speak anywhere, anytime to anybody. I don't care who it is. Authorities, strangers, groups, microphones, phones. Are you kidding me? I love it. I can't wait. You know why? Because I'm a very good speaker. And I'm doing nothing that you personally can't do. Nothing. Nothing. Just imitate and do it. Now, third base, I love to speak. Now, you can't get to third unless you get to second. What's second base? I gotta stop planning words and thinking words. Zero. I don't get when I'm in a conversation, I do not permit myself. This is me grading me, and you grade you. I'll grade me, you grade you. And you are saying to yourself, I'm not going to think words before I say them. End of story. What are you going to do then? I'm going to think about how I can be passionate and can have conviction in what I say. And whether I whisper it, or I scream it, or I talk in my regular voice, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to move around. Because that's like Satan is at bat and you're the pitcher. You don't throw the same pitch fastball down the middle every time. You throw them a curve once in a while, you throw them a knuckleball, you throw them a slider, you throw them high and inside, low and outside, whatever. You move the ball around. So we do that to Satan too. We keep him, he doesn't know. He's stupid and he wears cement shoes. You and I are track stars with track shoes on and we're smart. And that's the truth. Compared to him, we're geniuses. Compared to him, we're geniuses. He can't beat us unless we forfeit. And that's what we've been doing. We've been forfeiting, Ibross. We've been cashing, throwing in our hand before we even look at our cards and taking a licking. It's over. It's finished. Wow, because we're going to think other things. We're going to change our thinking. Right at the beginning of my book, all my books, there's a quote from the psychiatrist. Did you notice it? From Frank S. Caprio?
I did, yes.
It says, say after me, we have free choice.
We have free choice.
To accept or reject thoughts.
To accept or reject thoughts.
Nothing compels us to think anything.
Nothing compels us to think anything.
Except our own desires.
Except our own desires.
So use your mental switch.
So use your mental switch.
And dictate your thoughts.
And dictate your thoughts.
Believe that you can improve.
Believe that you can improve.
And you will.
And you will.
Now let's put it in the first tense. That's the first person plural. Let's put it in first person singular. I have free choice.
I have free choice.
To accept or reject thoughts.
To accept or reject thoughts.
Nothing compels me to think anything.
Nothing compels us to think anything.
Except my own desires.
Except my own desires.
So I'll use my mental switch.
I'll use my mental switch.
And dictate my thoughts.
And dictate my thoughts.
And dictate my thoughts.
And dictate my thoughts.
I'll dictate my thoughts.
I'll dictate my thoughts.
I believe that I can improve.
I believe that I can improve.
And I will.
And I will.
That's where we are. Now, when you hang up the Skype, your game plan is you don't say a word to anybody, anywhere, anytime, for any reason, unless you are thinking, how can I say this with more feeling? That's your first thought. Secondly, all your speech, short increments. Link your words together. Once you start talking, I have no breaks in there. Once I start talking, I said it as if it's one word. Once I start talking, I can't stutter it. Only the first word could I stutter, the once. And I can use a crutch to say the once if I need to, but I don't think I could use crutch 1, crutch 4, crutch 7, crutch 8, 5, 6, whatever. We haven't been over any of those, but I think you're doing something more important. You're thinking about how you can say it like you mean it, man. And you know something, if you can teach yourself that, which you can do, you don't need my book. You don't need me. You don't need anything in terms of your speech. Now, can we help you be a better speaker and convert stuttering into a blessing and so forth? Yes, we can. But if you will embrace every time you speak, how can I say it? And the minute you start having a problem with the word, stop talking, take a 2 count and think, how can I say it? and dive into the pool from the high board, go off the board head first, because the water can't hurt you, man. It can't. So you're going off the board every time. And you're going right down to the bottom of that pool, and you're touching that baby right on the bottom. You get a point every time you do. Every time you stop and don't wrestle with those words, you win. Run scored for Ibross. Put another run on the board. You're going to score a lot of runs. Now, so what? I see you again in a week. Is that right? Is that what it is?
I'll have to check my work rota.
Okay, well then you
changes
want
every
to
4 days.
email me?
I will, yes.
Okay. Now, you have a lifelong habit of thinking words that's got to end now. To beat it, we have to have 0 bad incidents for a month. When you've done it for a month, does that mean you've won? No, it means you made first base. You still got second, third, and home to go, but you made first base. You got to admit you made it when you made it. When you've been a month without a bad incident, you got to post a success story. Say, well, I can't do it under my name or my face because I'm this, that, and the other thing. That we can deal with that too, but we prefer to use your first name and your face, but we can live without it. But the point is, you have got to go a month without a bad incident to reach first base. And all that means is you reach first base, which is great because you can't score a run if you don't reach first base. So then our goal is what you're actually working on both first and second right now. Second base is thinking words. And in your case, your stuttering is so heavy, you got to think, you got to focus on not thinking words. That's your primary thing. And that is going to help you reach first base. Well, there are a lot of crutches we can use and learn and whatever, and all that's great. And you know some of them already because you've read the book. So you got a rough idea where we're going. But we got to stop thinking the words. We have to shut ourselves down. You have to be disciplined, Ibross. Disciplined. When you start thinking words, shut your mouth. Take a 2 count or a 1 count or a 3 count. Suit yourself. Get a break. And start again saying it like you mean it. And don't hesitate to gesticulate. It's natural in conversations. For public speaking, it's not so great. It's perfectly fine for conversations. Natural body movements are fine. We don't blink. We don't grimace. We don't look like we're in pain. We don't force words. We don't repeat words. We don't do any of that crap. We stop talking. We stop thinking words. Thinking words, and we start thinking about how we can say it like we mean it, like we mean it. Ibross, say it like you mean it. Okay, say after me. For the next week.
From the next week.
I am going to speak.
I'm going to speak.
Thinking how I can say it.
Thinking how I can say it.
I will speak over the top.
I will speak over the top.
I don't care what anyone thinks.
I don't care what anyone thinks.
My opinion of myself is what matters.
My opinion of myself is what matters.
And I'm going to improve my opinion of myself.
And I'm going to improve my opinion of myself.
By speaking better.
By speaking better.
By doing my best in everything I do.
By doing my best in everything I do.
By being as loving as I can possibly be.
By being as loving as I can possibly be.
And by doing my mind training every day.
And by doing my mind
Okay, email me and we'll get together in a week or so.
Of course, no problem.
The kickoff is now. You just caught the ball and the game is starting right now. You're a disciplined guy. Don't give yourself any time off. No time off.
Of course not.
All right, I'll see you then. So take care of yourself.
Okay, take care. Thank you very much.